Welcome everyone, I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and now that all of the film has been watched and all of the grades are in, it's time for the FBGP Scouting NFL Draft Prospect Preview presented by Crossover. Before we get started with our rankings, here's how we gather our grades and what they actually mean. First, we watch a minimum of 3 full games on a prospect, his best game, his worst game, and the best possible matchup. And second, we grade on 15 key points specific to the position to equal 100 points in total. Now here's what the grades you'll see by a prospect name will actually mean. Prospects that have earned grades in the 90s graded out as potential future NFL All-Pros. Prospects in the 80s are considered future Pro Bowl players. Grades in the 70s represent solid NFL starters, and grades in the 60s are players that we believe are spot starters or situational starters in the NFL. And if you notice, we don't use the word reserve or backup because we personally feel as though there's no such thing as backups in the NFL, only starters in waiting. So without further ado, let's kick off our rankings by taking a look at our top 10. Quincy Adeboyejo of Ole Miss grades out as our #1 inside wide receiver. I came away extremely impressed with his initial burst off the line of scrimmage and his route running ability. That combination makes him dangerous in the middle of the field. Number 8 has a complete mastery of the intermediate game, and in my opinion, that'll serve him well on seam routes, option routes, and pivot routes inside. Adeboyejo was a star at the East-West Shrine game this past January and has the type of skills to hit the ground running as a rookie. Now, as Adeboyejo leads off our list, here's how 2 through 10 shake out. I think Garrett Dieter of Alabama has been vastly underrated. He has consistent hands and is also a 50-50 threat inside the red zone. I think many forget how dominant he was at Bowling Green prior to transferring to Alabama. Now, Al Rouse of Louisiana was a former linebacker turned wide receiver and became one of the go-to guys for the Raging Cajuns. He's built to make a living over the middle of the field. And I feel like Darius Rogers of USC and Verlin Hunter of Grambling can play outside but are much better inside, working the seams and short area zone. Both wide receivers have the strongest hands arguably in this year's draft class. 2 sleeper prospects here are Robert Tonyan Jr. of Indiana State and Zach Pascal of Old Dominion. Many view Tonyan as a tight end prospect, but in my opinion, he moves extremely well to kick him down inside to be a bit more of a tight end. Leave him as a bigger wide receiver and create some versatility within your offense. Pascal is a physical receiver that also has some outside capability. Kenny Golladay and Trey Griffey have the athleticism to produce at the NFL level and are able to contort their bodies very well to make the tough grab. Josh Malone of Tennessee is another prospect of intrigue. He had a great workout at the NFL Scouting Combine, ran a fast 40 time as a matter of fact, but I don't think he plays as fast as his 40 time would suggest. Now, what his workout in Indy didn't show you is how tough he is going over the middle of the field and how unafraid he is of contact. Now, he shows a great ability to zero in on the football despite the chaos that's happening around him. And I think if you ask him to work the short to intermediate area over the middle of the field, he could be super productive just as he was this season for the Tennessee Volunteers. Rounding out our inside receiver rankings with 11 through 20, and you see a big physical group of wideouts that play big and also loves to play above the rim. James Rowe of Elizabeth City State was a standout at the Washington, D.C. NFL Regional Combine, as was Edgar Poe, the terrific wide receiver from Army. Ricky Seals-Jones and Jerome Lane, in my opinion, still have upsides to their game. I think we'll see them be much better pros than they were in college. And Noah Brown of Ohio State has a chance to be a solid inside guy. He's one, just like Wayne Capers Jr. of Duquesne, that can win off the line of scrimmage and uses their body to shield the defender away from the football. Devin Borders of Eastern Kentucky at 6'6", 213 still has growth in his game as well. He was essentially a jump ball target for the Colonels, but with more attention to detail in his route running and adding both strength and weight, he could develop into a serious problem on short yardage and goal line situations in the NFL. He has the rawness that a receiver coach at the next level would definitely love to work with. So that's a wrap for our 2017 FBGP Scouting Draft Prospect Preview presented by Crossover. To see more of our individual scouting reports, follow us on Twitter at FBGP Scouting and bookmark the page footballgameplan.com/FBGP Scouting. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/footballgameplan, where you can get all of our scouting videos, mock drafts, pro day videos, and interviews with NFL draft prospects. And one more thing, subscribe to us on iTunes under Football Game Plan Podcast.